Open any dating app right now and you see the same story playing out. Endless swiping, endless profiles, endless conversations that go nowhere. At first, it feels exciting. So many faces, so many possibilities. But after a while, the excitement wears off. The matches feel shallow. The effort feels heavy. And what was supposed to make connection easier starts to feel like work. This is where we are today. A culture where dating apps promise love but delivered exhaustion, where attraction has been reduced to quick swipes, curated bios, and algorithms that quietly decide who is worthy of being seen. And people feel it. They joke about it online. They make TikToks about it. But underneath the humor is something real. Burnout, disconnection, and a kind of fatigue that's hard to shake. This video is about that fatigue, the swipe fatigue that's reshaping modern attraction. We are going to break down 5 ways dating apps are quietly ruining the very thing they were meant to protect: our ability to feel real desire, real intimacy, and real connection. Let's dive in. Dating apps promised abundance, but what they really delivered is exhaustion. When every face is just a swipe away, attraction loses its spark. Think about it. On paper, dating apps should have been revolutionary. Thousands of people at your fingertips, the chance to meet your person without leaving your couch. But what actually happened? The endless scroll turned love into a game of roulette. People sit on the train, on their lunch break, even in bed at 2 a.m., thumbing through faces like they are browsing Netflix. Here's the thing. When choice is infinite, nothing feels urgent. Nobody feels special. Psychologists call it the paradox of choice. The more options you have, the less satisfied you are with any of them. And you see this play out on TikTok. Women joking, I matched with 37 guys this week and I'm still single. Men posting, I swipe all day and maybe get 2 matches if I'm lucky. What was supposed to be empowering now feels like work. Imagine standing in a grocery store aisle lined with 200 different cereals. At first, it's exciting, but 5 minutes in, your brain shuts down. You walk out empty-handed not because there was nothing to eat, but because the abundance killed your appetite. That's what is happening with dating apps. People are overloaded, overstimulated, and ironically, underconnected. And here is the emotional cost. Swiping has turned people into temporary amusements rather than possibilities. Attraction used to be about the spark in the room, the glance across the cafe, the moment that caught you off guard. Now attraction is about whether your photo can hold someone's attention for 1.5 seconds before they flick their thumb. That cheapens the experience. It takes what should feel human and makes it disposable. And slowly desire starts to wither. Because how can you feel drawn to anyone when they are just one out of thousands, when you know the next face is one swipe away? But this isn't just about endless choice. There is another layer: how people perform on dating apps. Because once the profile becomes your only currency, people start curating, editing, exaggerating. And that leads to our next point: the way dating apps have turned authenticity into marketing. On dating apps, people don't present themselves, they perform. Attraction has been reduced to branding, where the real person disappears behind filters, captions, and carefully crafted personas. Scroll through Tinder, Bumble, or Hinge, and what do you see? Not people, profiles, slogans, marketing pitches. A guy will post gym selfies flexing in the mirror with captions like, work hard, play harder. A woman will post travel photos in Bali or Paris, adding, looking for someone who can keep up with me. None of it feels like conversation, it feels like advertising. This is the performance trap. People know they are competing with thousands of others in a digital market space, so they exaggerate, they filter, they overpolish. It's not about who you are, it's about how well you can sell yourself in a 2-second scroll. And it's everywhere. On TikTok, you'll find clips of women laughing about how their Hinge prompts are mini resumes. Men posting advice on how to take the perfect swipe-worthy picture. It's not romance, it's branding. Picture this: a man and woman match on an app. He liked her witty profile, her fun traveler vibe. She liked his ambitious captions and curated gym shots. But when they meet in real life, it falls flat. Because the profile wasn't a person, it was a performance. And when the performance ends, disappointment steps in. And this is where swipe fatigue cuts the deepest. People are exhausted not just from the swiping, but from the pretending, from the constant pressure to be interesting enough or hot enough in a thumbnail-sized box. It's not connection, it's competition. It's not attraction, it's marketing. And slowly people begin to feel hollow because the very thing that should feel human, romance, intimacy, love, has been turned into a branding exercise. But there's another layer to this fatigue, one that's more insidious. Because once attraction becomes performance, rejection becomes dehumanizing. It's no longer we didn't vibe, it's you didn't make the cut. And that's where we need to go next. The rise of algorithmic rejection and how it's reshaping self-worth. Dating apps didn't just digitize attraction, they gamified rejection. And in that game, people are learning to measure their worth in swipes, matches, and messages that never come. Open Tinder, Bumble, and it feels like a slot machine. You swipe, you wait, you hope for a match. Sometimes the app rewards you with a dopamine hit. It's a match. Most of the time, though, it's silence. But here's the catch. The silence isn't neutral. It feels personal because the app shows you faces, gives you hope, then withholds connection. And the algorithm, not you, decides whether you are visible, whether you are desirable, whether you are in the game today. TikTok is flooded with men posting, I swiped 500 times this week and got 3 matches. Women posting, every guy I match with just ghosts me after 2 texts. The exhaustion isn't just about effort, it's about feeling invisible in a system that thrives on making you try again and again. And here's the darker side. The apps are designed this way. They thrive on scarcity, on frustration, on keeping you hooked. Rejection is baked into the design. It's not personal, it's structural. But when you are the one swiping, it feels deeply personal. Imagine going to a party where you try to talk to people, but 9 out of 10 turn their backs without a word. That's what the apps feels like. It's not just rejection, it's rejection on repeat. Rejection scaled by algorithms. And over time, it chips away at self-worth. And this is where attraction begins to collapse. Because when your self-image is shaped by algorithms, it stops being about real connection. Instead, it becomes about stats. How many matches did I get this week? How quickly did they respond? It turns people into numbers and numbers into identity. And that's devastating because human connection isn't meant to be measured. It's meant to be felt. Yet apps reduce love to math, and in the process crash the very confidence that makes attraction possible. But rejection isn't the only thing that's draining people. There is another consequence of the swipe culture, the way it has rewired attention itself. Because when every option feels disposable, attention spans shrink, and attraction can't take root. That's where we need to go next. How dating apps are breeding short-term novelty instead of lasting desire. Dating apps have trained us to crave novelty, not intimacy. The thrill is in the swipe, the match, the next possibility, not in the slow burn of building something real. Think about the design of apps like Tinder or Bumble. The entire interface is built around who is next. The swipe left, swipe right motion is addictive because it promises something new every second. And our brains love novelty. It spikes dopamine. But here's the problem. When attraction becomes tied to constant novelty, death feels boring. On TikTok, you see women joking, why do I get the ick after 2 dates? Men posting, I lose interest the second she texts back too quickly. It's not always about the person. It's about the way apps have rewired expectations. When you know thousands of options are out there, you start thinking, why invest here when I can just swipe again? Picture it. You are texting someone from Hinge. The conversation is going okay. But then a notification pops up. You have a new like. Instantly your attention shifts. That maybe feels more exciting than the person actually giving you time. It's not because they are better, it's because they are new. This is the curse of disposable attention. Attraction no longer gets the chance to deepen because the temptation of novelty is always one swipe away. And the impact is huge. People start to lose the patience that real intimacy requires. The ability to sit with someone's quirks, to weather an awkward silence, to build comfort over time, that's disappearing because apps have trained us to build at the first sign of friction and chase the high of someone new. It's not that people don't want love anymore. It's that they've been conditioned to confuse desire with novelty. And when novelty is the metric, nobody can hold attention long enough to build something lasting. But novelty isn't the only problem. There is a final deeper cost to all of this. Because when attraction is gamified, performed, rejected by algorithms, and constantly replaced, what's left? Burnout. The slow erosion of hope itself. That's where we need to go next. The emotional crash of swipe fatigue. After years of chasing matches, curating profiles, and swiping endlessly, people aren't just tired, they are burnt out. This is swipe fatigue, the quiet collapse of attraction under the weight of digital exhaustion. Open Twitter or TikTok and you see it everywhere. People venting about how dating apps feel more like a second job than a love story. Women posting, I matched with 100 guys this month and it feels like none of them actually want to meet. Men sharing, I've swiped for hours, sent dozens of messages and nothing. The laughter in those posts is hollow. It's exhaustion disguised as humor. Here's what's happening. The apps turned dating into labor. Logging in, swiping, messaging, waiting over and over. But the payoff really feels worth it. Most conversations die in two texts. Most matches never meet. And slowly the excitement that used to come with a new match turns into dread. Here we go again. Imagine this. A woman gets a notification. You've got a new like. For a split second, she feels the old rush. But then she remembers the last 5 conversations that fizzled. The last 3 guys who ghosted. The endless cycle. Instead of joy, she feels tired before she even replies. That's why fatigue. And this fatigue is bigger than boredom. It's cultural burnout. People are beginning to associate dating with exhaustion instead of excitement, with disappointment instead of discovery. What's powerful here is the silence that follows. More and more people are quietly deleting the apps. Not because they stop wanting love, but because they stop believing they'll find it in a system that feels designed to drain them. This is the final irony. Apps built to make love easier are making people give up on it altogether. Swipe fatigue is not just the end of attraction online, it's the erosion of hope offline. So here's what we've seen. Dating apps didn't just digitize romance, they rewired it. They gave us endless choice but killed desire. They turned attraction into marketing. They made rejection feel algorithmic and constant. They trained us to chase novelty instead of depth. And now, after years of swiping, people are burnt out, quietly deleting the apps and wondering where the spark went. This isn't just about bad dates. It's about the cultural cost of reducing human connection to a game. Because attraction isn't meant to be optimized by algorithms. It's meant to be lived, felt, experienced. And when technology steals that, the silence it leaves behind feels heavier than ever. If you've ever felt that silence, if you've ever felt the exhaustion of swiping until connection feels like a chore, you are not alone. Swipe fatigue isn't just a story, it's a shared one. So let's talk about it. Drop your experience in the comments. Have dating apps made you feel more connected or more disconnected? Because the only way we reclaim attraction from fatigue is by being honest about what's costing us. This has been Swipe Fatigue, why dating apps are ruining attraction. And the truth is the real connection we are looking for might only start when we finally stop swiping.